Welcome back to Planet Rock's The Book of Souls Iron Maiden special. The album was recorded in Paris at Guillaume Tell Studios, and for the first time, the band wrote, rehearsed, and recorded the record all at the same time. Here's Adrian Smith with Paul Anthony.
Now, the album itself, recorded in a studio not that unfamiliar to the Maiden boys.
The same studio we did the album Brave New World in 2000, yeah. Great studio, and it hadn't changed a bit. I mean, they still had the same carpet in the rec room, I think. The feet stuck to it as you went down. But the actual vibe of the studio and the sound was fantastic. And a few people have said to me, on listening to it, it sounds similar to Brave New World, which is interesting because they didn't know where it's recorded. So it just shows you that, you know, where you record something. The room is very important. It's kind of the organic touch, you know.
As far as organic is concerned as well, I mean, Maiden, a very organic band. In fact, a lot of the album was actually written in the studio before recording it as well, wasn't it?
Well, we had the rough ideas. We didn't actually rehearse. We normally rehearse a song a day for 2 weeks before we go in the studio, so we're prepared and we don't waste time. This time, I think we've just been playing together for so long, we can sort of get away with just turning up, sort of rehearsing the song and recording it. And in fact, in some cases, while we were rehearsing the song, Kevin was pressing the record button and recording it as we went along. So he's really, really kind of fresh sounding.
Drummer Nicko McBrain.
Yeah, it was a beautiful experience in as much that we revisited, 15 years of history later. It was our first album we made with Bruce and Adrian on their return in 1999. They came back, and that was our first studio offering. But it was a phenomenal feeling, and the magic in that room hadn't changed. The essence of the room was still there, and it's such a great sounding, amazing room for a live band. And the only thing we changed was we put the drum kit into a different position, facing towards the control room, whereas when we did Brave New World, I was like, if you were looking out at the studio, I was to the right of the control room. So we had a really great time, and the great thing was when Kevin got there, we were writing songs like you would in a normal rehearsal room. And when Kevin got there, we started to get all the sounds up, and we were using headphones. So what happened was we could work on the song, and then the guys go, here, let's record this. And they'd press a button, like a foot switch, and it would then go into the isolation mode. So then we would have to work with headphones. And that happened on a couple of songs. Sometimes we would work the song out with the headphones and then go, right, we're ready to record it. And other times we just sit and, in a circle and work on the song and then go, right, let's go. Press button A, press button B, and that was how it worked. It was brilliant.
Let's talk about the 18-minute epic, because the masterpiece, Empire of the Clouds, is just superb from start to finish. And Planet Rock, I think, is probably the only radio station in this country that is going to play it in full without a shadow of a doubt. But again, you're not frightened to do that. I mean, so many bands that go, do you know what, 18 minutes, shall we really do that? But, you're doing it for yourself ultimately, and for the fans too.
Well, I think the attitude has always been, we play what we think, and hopefully the fans are going to like it. I mean, if you're a DJ, you can put this track on and nip out, have a spot of lunch and come back, and then, But, I mean, it's a fantastic song. Bruce played it to us. He was working on it, virtually the whole time we were in Paris. I think it's one of the last tracks we recorded. It wasn't easy to record. When you listen to it, you probably understand why. But when we did get it, it was a great buzz. It was never done anything like it before. It's almost like a mini musical, It's got so many movements, the same movements. It's got so many pieces and, parts. It was a real challenge to do.
Nicko.
So he told me the story of the R101 airship, and two of these airships built, the R100, which was built privately, and the R101, which was built by the British government. So he told me the story, and I'm like, wow, this is fascinating. And he said, oh, did you realise, he said, that I collect memorabilia from airships? And now I learned something. Not only did I sit with Bruce at the beginning of the dream of this song that he was working on, I got to learn something about a friend of mine that I've known for 33 plus years, that he collects memorabilia, and he goes all over the place. He goes all over the world for this stuff, So I was really sort of drawn into this whole experience of this airship business.
Bruce Dickinson.
And then we were left with Empire of the Clouds, and that one really did take quite a while to put together. I was really working on that one, you know, every day really for probably 3 or 4 weeks. It's a bit like putting together a sofa from IKEA, you know. You've got a big bag of bolts and you've got a load of bits of wood, and you start putting them together, except that in this case it could turn into a multitude of different things.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is the story of the last day in the life of Her Majesty's airship, the R101, which crashed in 19 October 1930 with a loss of 48 lives. And it was a catastrophe absolutely unparalleled. I mean, when the Titanic sank, it was tragic, but that was a commercial ship disaster. This was actually a government project which was supposed to be the precursor to an armada of airships linking the Empire. It had the Secretary of State for the Air, it had the Minister of Transport on board, it had all dignitaries, royalty, everybody, and they all perished in Beauvais on this one day, on its maiden voyage.
You're back with the Iron Maiden Book of Souls special on Planet Rock. The Book of Souls is centered around the Mayan civilization, whose complex culture included a strong belief that souls live on after death. It's the band's 16th studio album and their first ever double record. Here's Bruce Dickinson.
When we got to 6 songs, and it was blindingly obvious that it was going to exceed a CD, one CD in terms of length.
Yeah.
I looked at Steve and said, well, we either stop now or it's a double album. And he went, yeah, double album it is then. And I went, yeah, that's pretty indescribably cool, actually. You know, nobody does those except us now, I guess.
Well, I was going to say, was the conversation you might do 2 albums like back to back?
No, never.
Not like
never,
a Use Your Illusion
never.
1 and 2.
No, that was a managerial thing. He said, oh, a pain in the arse, double album, you know, can't you do like Guns N' Roses or what, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2? No, I don't think so. You know, it's one album. It was all done at the same time. It all fits together. The sound fits together. It's just one vibe, you know.
Steve.
At what stage did the whole Mayan kind of thing come into the play? Because, again, you've always had great imagery to go with the songs, the albums, the tours, the productions, and this whole imagery now for the new album, The Book of Souls, fits perfectly, and I can almost see the production in the live show. At what stage did that kind of theme, that image come in?
Well, it was something that actually really had the idea from the album before. Me and Yannick, you know, Yannick had a basic idea for that song, and I actually said to him at the time, you know, this doesn't really suit or fit, you know, this album, Final Frontier. But I said, you know, we can use it on the next one, and we can do a whole big thing with it, you know, because it's such a big subject and everything like that. And I think he thought I was just fobbing him off at the time, and they would never see the light of day again. But, you know, I meant what I said, and basically, you know, we ended up doing the song, and it's worked out really, really strong. I really like it. I mean, I think he really likes it too. I mean, the weird thing is everyone goes off, and then, you know, we mix it, and, you know, so having had a chance to see what he really thinks of it, but I'm sure he'd be happy with it.
The whole imagery, as I said before, with the album sleeve, The Book of Souls, and the whole theme running through it, Mark Wilkinson's done a brilliant job, hasn't he, of bringing Eddie to another dimension.
Yeah, I mean, it took a while to get there because at first, it's not very easy to get across the ideas. I was trying to get the ideas across in my head what I wanted it to be, and maybe I wasn't explaining myself very well, I don't know, but it took a while to get there. But, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We got there in the end, and I think it's the best looking Eddie that we've had, you know, for a long, long, you know, time, really, I think it's really powerful, and it's really edgy, which is what we wanted, you know. I mean, the subjects, you know, or the subjects we've got on the album are very edgy too, so some of them. So it needed to have that, and, you know, the lyrics kind of lend themselves to all the kind of imagery, which then goes into the, you know, the artwork, which then in turn goes into the stage show, and you know, it's very, very powerful, and it needed to be powerful because the songs are powerful.
Guitarist Adrian Smith with Paul Anthony.
Now, it's not a concept album per se, but having said that, there is a bit of a theme running through it, the whole sort of Maya civilization, which the imagery and the songs are kind of based around. Again, did Steve come up with that imagery, or was it just something that kind of fell into place?
I think he had the idea called the album Book of Souls, and he kept throwing it around, and it seemed the more we wrote and the longer we were in the studio, the more appropriate it seemed. You know, like a book, like a document, or, you know, it was going to be a long album, and we could make a book and do a double album, Book of Souls. It just seemed to fit, you know.
The whole imagery as well with the Book of Souls, I mean, all carries through. Mark Wilkinson's done a stunning job. I mean, the new Eddie, the whole thing, the hieroglyphics, everything kind of works and fits and pulls the whole package together, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a great package. I've just seen the finished thing. It really is something special, and you know, in this day where people are just downloading odd tracks and, you know, flitting from one thing to the next, this is kind of a substantial thing that people can actually buy and check out the artwork and read all the lyrics and all that stuff. There's a lot of lyrics.
Maiden have always been about value for money as well, like I said, with the albums, but this one, I mean, just goes to the next level. A double album, I think triple vinyl available as well, box set as we've just seen, and so many more things. The fans love everything about Maiden, not just the music, but the whole imagery. And like we say, I mean, this, again, you can almost see the stage in the next Maiden show.
Very dramatic, isn't it? Very, very scary, yeah. I could just see that. I can't wait to see the new production. It's going to be amazing. You know, using that imagery and, you know, Eddie in this latest guise is going to be fantastic.
Nicko.
You know, what I love about the whole entity of Maiden is everybody that's behind it lives it with a passion, and it's just the whole ongoing story. The music is it's all about the music, but then it's about Eddie as well. It's funny because years back we did a tour where we couldn't get Eddie on stage at a few gigs, and people were really upset, and they were going, we didn't see Eddie. We only came to see Eddie. We didn't really come to see you guys. We just want to see Eddie walk on stage. So, you know, it's so much a part of the essence of the band, and it's incredible. You know, early days people used to think, oh, these boys are a bit devil worshipping and whatever, and satanic, you know, with this zombie living skeleton of a geezer, you know. But no, of course not. Greatest thing is he gives the devil a doing again, doesn't he? So yeah, whatever.